What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we are playing through the Face-Off Aokiji and the Face-Off Akainu event. So we're going to be going through that. I'll show you guys the teams that I've been using, and we'll talk about replacements and stuff on the teams as we go through the dungeon itself. Before we get into that though, I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the website, because the website has been obviously progressing. You can see here, I'll actually go ahead and refresh just to get the most updated information for you guys, and we can see quite clearly that the Akainu side is dominating this event. This is what a lot of people would have predicted heading into this event. So yeah, it's definitely coming to fruition here. So obviously, to get points for the Akainu team, because Akainu seems to be the team that's going to be winning, you have to fight the Aokiji dungeon, which we'll go through first in this video. Also, to see that the community rewards, we've actually reached already nearly the top scores. So we did reach it significantly faster than I think a lot of people would have expected. It would be cool if they add more rewards on top of this, but I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit, too much to ask for if we do, ask for more rewards at this point. I don't think we will get any, but it's cool. We're going to be getting our Sugo Fest exclusive hopefully very, very soon, and I'll bring you guys a video after this event's finished, after we get all of the rewards with all my Sugo Fest pulls and stuff. So make sure you go ahead and stay tuned for the channel for that. And obviously we've got the ranking stuff here as well, but that's about it in terms of the website. Just wanted to show you guys that we're doing really, really well, so shout out to everyone out there. Now, these dungeons, prior to them releasing, a lot of people were discussing whether or not these dungeons were going to be different from their original versions and their original releases, considering the fact that they released the two new rare recruits, the Aokiji and the Akainu in the Sugo Fest, and people were thinking, because of that, they might potentially change the dungeons to formulate for those characters. However, they haven't done that. These dungeons are the exact same as the dungeons that released last year. So if you guys played last year during the Blitz battle, it's exactly the same. Pretty straightforward. So I actually got to go ahead and refill my stamina here. But the team that I am using against the Aokiji dungeon quite clearly is going to be a V2 Akainu team. Now, this team is very, very obscure compared to a lot of the normal teams you'd be seeing here. Two of the characters on my team are actually not boosted for this event at all, but the main reason why they're here is because the final boss stage is extremely annoying and requires the strength rare recruit Whitebeard in the Sugo Fest. Unfortunately, I didn't pull him, so obviously you got to go ahead and shuffle your team around. But let's just go ahead and talk about each stage and talk about replacements for this team. So for this team specifically, in the way that I've been playing it, I need to stall one turn to make sure that my Big Mom is ready for the final boss fight, because I do need Big Mom. So this is typically the stage where I'll be stalling, hitting a couple of greats to make sure I don't kill the stage in one turn. So pretty straightforward. But in terms of replacements, I know a lot of people were asking me on stream today about replacements for this team. I think the biggest one that a lot of people were talking about was, if you don't have the strength Whitebeard, what do you use? And ideally, Treasure Map Big Mom is the best case scenario here, just because she does so much, right? She gives you so many boosts, and on top of that, gives you the G orbs, which are very, very important. A lot of people were also asking, what would you replace Brand New with? And Brand New is the very hard one to replace, because Brand New is so useful for stage 4 against the mini boss Aokiji, because his special ability removes all of the debuffs or all the buffs that Aokiji puts on himself. But if you have the new strength, the new int rare recruit Kuzan, he's obviously a really good choice as well. He does pretty much what Brand New does, but the thing I like about Brand New is he gives you more beneficial orbs, which is pretty useful on stage 4 as well. Also, something to note about stage 3 of both fights. Stage 3 of both fights are the exact same, just with different colored units. But what will happen here is when you kill the guy in the middle, at the front, the middle guy in the front, when you kill him, he will give you a full board of block orbs, and he binds 3 of your sailors for 4 turns. But if you kill them all in one turn, then that's not really a big issue. I don't know if we'll be able to kill all of them in one turn here. Really depends. And you guys might be wondering, why do I have Hody Jones on the team? The main reason I have Hody Jones on this team is because I can use his special ability on the final boss fight just to reduce the cooldown of Big Mom. That's literally the only reason why Hody Jones is here, is because of his cooldown reduction effect for Big Mom. Just trying to make the team as fast as possible, of course. You want to try and complete it as fast as possible to get more runs in, to earn more points. Pretty self-explanatory. So this is the fight here where you want to be using brand new. So there's two variations on stage 4. There's the Dex Kuzan, or there is the Sai Kuzan. The Dex one here, you can see he gives you he has 3 turns of percent damage reduction, and the other one has 3 turns of damage threshold. So he's able to get rid of that. Brand new is able to get rid of that. And also, if you use any orb manipulation, he will change all of your orbs into negative orbs. But obviously, because we have brand new's beneficial orb enable, we can go ahead and change that. People were also asking as well, you know, like if you don't have version 2 Akainu, what's another unit you could use as a captain? Definitely version 2 Shanks. He is boosted for this event, I'm pretty sure. So V2 Shanks is a phenomenal choice as a captain here. Very high multiplier, very good special ability, and he's probably the second best unit to use as a captain for this particular boss. So now talking about the boss fight, we have the Kuzan here. He has a little over 8 million, I believe it's like 8.5, maybe 8.6 million health. And you can see that he'll actually go ahead and remove all beneficial effects and then makes all your strength, Dex, Quick, Psi, and Int orbs negative, so you can't carry beneficial orb enable into this final room, which is the reason why Big Mom is so useful. Obviously, if you have the strength rare recruit Whitebeard, he's going to be more ideal because he's a fully boosted unit, he has more stats and stuff, and you'd be able to use him, but because we don't, we're going to be using Big Mom, and just her special ability alone is enough damage output to fully KO this Kuzan. You might be wondering as well, why the hell do we have a character like Invasion Garp on this team? Well, he is boosted for this event as well, and the reason for that is because after you KO Kuzan, he will go ahead and revive, and he revives with under 25% HP. He also has a resilience buff, and he also reduces, or he's got a damage nullification from int enemies for 3 turns. So instead of having to hit 6 perfects and let Akainu's end of turn damage just kill him, we're just going to use Garb Special because it makes it so much easier. The thing is the Akainu boss fight actually does the same thing, where he revives with under 25%, so you could use the Invasion Garb for that fight as well, but because of the typing of the dungeon, it's kind of ideal to bring the V2 Kuzan, which is what we're going to be going through, the V2 Kuzan team for the Akainu boss fight. Okay, so now we're talking about the Akainu boss fight. So obviously here I'm using the V2 Kuzan team, the most optimal team you could probably build for this fight. Once we get to certain stages of this boss fight, I will actually talk about replaceable units for this, because there are definitely some units that you could replace for characters that I am using here, but some of them may not be boosted, which means obviously you will have to stall a little bit, but you know, you got to do what you got to do, you know, you just got to do what you got to do sometimes. As for the boss fight, as for this stage itself, like the first 3 stages of this dungeon is the exact same as the other boss fight that we just went through, just the fact that some of the units are different colors. That's essentially the only thing you really have to take into consideration here. Also, these guys in the front row, these strength cannoneers, you got to remember that if they get below half HP, they will actually go ahead and blind you for 5 turns. So, you know, just got to make sure that you do know that. And remember, the guy in the front middle position, when he dies, he will give you a full board of block orbs, and he will go ahead and bind 3 of your 4 crewmates for 4 turns. But remember, because you are killing and moving on to another stage, that last turn of bind will be completely removed once you move on to the next stage. But on stage 4, once again, there are 2 different variations. There is a strength variation, and he gives you attack down for 3 turns, and the int variation gives you despair for, I think it is also 3 turns. This is where the quick rare recruit Sengoku is useful, because his special ability not only gives us an orb boost, but it also will go ahead and remove the attack down and will remove despair, so it gets rid of both of the debuffs on both variations, and also makes recovery in tandem beneficial. And that's very good, because when we use Kuzan special to manipulate our orbs, if you activate an orb changing special, all your orbs become recovery in tandem, so works very, very well there. If you don't have rare recruit Sengoku, you can definitely replace him with a character that also removes despair and attack down. So there are 2 characters that I can think of. Number 1 being rare recruit Chiffon, the side rare recruit Chiffon, and also ambush Linlin. Both of those characters allow you to remove despair and attack down. For ambush Linlin specifically, you'd want to probably use your attack boosting special before Linlin. Depending on your team composition, you want to make sure that you don't have the attack boost for Powerhouse and Driven with her specifically. So if you want to use another attack booster, use that first, then use Ambush Linlin. But at this point, we can just go ahead and kill this stage and move on to the final boss fight. So the final boss fight is similar in HP to the Kuzan boss fight. I believe it's about 8.5, 8.6-ish million HP. He also has 7 turns of attack up and end of turn damage. He also does the end of turn damage through the preemptive as well, but this is where the Boa Hancock is very good because she removes those buffs on the enemy side of the field. She heals us a little bit and gives us the 80% damage reduction. If you don't have that Boa, you can definitely replace her with a character like Raid Barto or a character such as Legend Robin. Both of those characters are pretty ideal, allowing you to tank any damage that would be dealt on the final hit, because when you kill him on that first try, he will actually go ahead and do a death hit to you. So you can see here we're using the Hina and the Kuzan, basically just using attack boosting related specials to output enough damage. You can replace them with any sort of attack booster or affinity booster. You can use conditionals on this boss fight as well because he doesn't have any debuff immunity, so that's very, very useful as well. You might be wondering, why the hell do I have Kizaru on this team? You guys will be seeing that after he revives, but Kizaru is another character that you could probably replace as well. So once we have killed him, as I said, he does do a death damage to you. I'm not 100% sure how much damage it is. You could probably calc it here because of the damage reduction. But you can see upon reviving, removes all the debuffs, gives himself an immunity after the revive, and he has a 30-hit combo shield. So the only way to break through this here is to, you know, obviously have barrier penetration, because not too many teams are going to have 30 combo hits. But this is where the Kizaru comes into play because he does remove 20 combo hits and also gives our shooters and slashers matching orbs. So at this point, we're not going to have too many issues getting through a 10 combo hit shield and also having enough damage output to get through the rest of this fight. So there we go. That's the full rundown of both boss fights against the face-off Aokiji and the face-off Akainu. Make sure to get farming on this event. Lots of Sugo Fest exclusive characters up for grabs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.